the government said this thing is actually changing directions regardless of the winds. It's
What the
huge.
fuck?
It's an actual, like...
Is there a Chinese man
not just
like
a little...
piloting it? Is it an actual like...
What are you talking about?
They didn't just
Jesus
they did not
Christ.
just strap a GoPro to a helium balloon. Like this was an actual sophisticated aircraft.
Was there a man in the basket below it, like traveling with it?
Anyway, some people also speculated, okay, maybe they're testing like, what if the balloon contained a biological weapon or a nuke that they were trying to deploy at some point or something? Maybe it was a test run for that sort of shit. Anyway, it leaves airspace. The Americans finally shoot it down with an F-22 or something. It pops, literally goes pop. At least that's what I think. May have been a sound effect added in post by YouTubers. And then it turns out that the Canadians say, hey, we also have one flying over our heads. So now there's a second Chinese.
Yeah, Kaya's cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Do you know about the Canadian balloon, Jackson?
No, I didn't know there was a Canadian balloon. I knew there were other balloons around the world, like China didn't have the only surveillance balloon or whatever, but I didn't know that it was over Canada as well. Was it a Chinese balloon over Canada?
That's what the Canadian government apparently claims, and one was apparently also sighted over Latin America, so now you have all of these balloon sightings. And according again to the American government, they also said that, yeah, this happens all the time, that we had Chinese spy balloons under the prior administration as well. We just didn't tell the public because we didn't want to unnerve people.
We didn't want to scare people of the balloon pandemic. There's so many balloons out there that we don't know about. I don't understand what balloons would collect other than, like, I guess atmospheric conditions, maybe?
I don't know.
Jealous of our weather, I guess.
Yeah.
Radio frequencies, 5G data. I have no fucking idea. I don't know what it would collect or why.
So Kaya, you said that the balloon had ordnance in it. What do you mean by that?
Well, he said potentially.
I used the wrong word. Equipment. It had multiple tons of equipment, and also according some defense official, he said that it probably also contains like a small amount of explosives to self-detonate.
Yeah, because you said ordnance, and I was picturing like a war balloon from like an RTS, like with big machine guns mounted on the side, ready to just shoot down planes and shit. With equipment,
did was headed for Washington.
Did they find out what equipment? Was it like cameras or telescopes or something? Like
they're not telling us anything. First of all, I don't believe the governments. So when people say, "Oh, it's a Chinese spy balloon," how the fuck do you know? Just because the government told you? I don't know what it is.
Maybe it was aliens.
Didn't China put out a statement saying that it was an overreaction to shoot it down and they'll respond accordingly?
Okay, that's funny.
Just because we're in your airspace and we're a hostile country doesn't mean you should shoot down our spy balloon. That's so rude.
Yeah, they took ownership of it. It's not like a government cover up that
Holy
kind of
shit.
forward.
But so does
reaction.
Like in terrorist attacks and stuff like that, the Taliban always takes like responsibility for that, even
That's
if
also
they're not
true.
the ones doing it. So
but
we don't
China,
know for sure.
but there's a hang on. There's a difference between a terrorist group and China taking
Is there?
responsibility.
Is there?
Damn, Jackson, now we're getting deep.
Christ.
Oh my god.
Hey, some people would say it.
Yeah, like you just said it.
Explain why, Jackson. Yeah, give us your reasoning.
Hey, they just sent a full balloon full of explosives into your country. You should be madder than me.
I mean, he's right. Again, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous that they just let this happen. The government's official excuse was, like I said, debris, one, and two, we collected data on the balloon, actually. No, we're not the dummies. The Chinese are dummies. Actually, we spied on them, totally. Which is like a Redditor excuse, which I don't buy. But who knows?
Surely America has built balloons in every country as well. Maybe this is just a thing that all countries do. We just have a large stockpile of balloons.
But we
everywhere.
don't have balloons. We just go straight on the ground. We just install military bases everywhere.
Well, yeah, but you don't have military bases within China or Chinese airspace, right?
Allegedly.
Not that we know of. Yeah. Or balloons. I mean, I'm down with this. Bring back Zeppelins.
Flying fortress. Zeppelins were cool until the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
That really fucked them up bad.
The Hindenburg was the worst PR nightmare for Zeppelins that they could have ever imagined. Oh yeah,
100%. Imagine a world we would live in if that didn't happen. We would probably still have Zeppelins flying around in like public spaces.
You know what's really funny related to that? The Titanic was probably the worst PR nightmare that cruise ships could ever have, and yet we still have cruises regularly. Yeah.
Yeah. What about it? What about Hindenburg made it that much more definitive?
It was. You guys make it sound like Zeppelins were like this super luxury, super popular thing. Even for their time, they weren't that big. Like
Didn't they fly them during the war? World War One.
I don't remember. Maybe
I thought they were common.
But
I played Battlefield 1 and I saw one, so maybe.
They were extremely expensive and extremely impractical, so it's not like they were like this super huge thing.
Well, they were
I think what
super
Jackson
huge.
is trying to say is that the Hindenburg was to Zeppelins what Chernobyl was to nuclear energy. One fucking accident, and now we cannot have nice things anymore, unfortunately.
Well, there was a few accidents with nuclear energy, like the Japanese tsunami incident, among others.
Yeah, that was a tsunami, though.
I think Andrew's example of the Titanic is more interesting. Like, I feel like the Titanic was a larger cultural event, but then cruise ships made it by relatively unfazed. I don't know why.
Well, it's not like they're just going to retire boats. Like, Zeppelins, again, were never like a super practical, super huge thing. The Titanic sinking's not all of a sudden going to have them go back to the drawing board like, all right, we need a new seafaring vehicle because boats aren't going to cut it because they can clearly sink.
Why was it not feasible with what do you call them, airships?
It's just extreme for their time. They were just extremely expensive, super.
But they were like the first technology, right? So boats were like pretty bad, like at the start.
So
they could only carry like 4 people, and you had to row.
Another reason they haven't brought up, Jackson, is Zeppelins are extremely slow. And when you have regular air travel through planes and jets and whatnot, why would you ever bother taking a Zeppelin anywhere?
Yeah, it would have to be a luxury thing, like just.
I was pretty sure it was even then. It was like a luxury thing, right? They had like suites and stuff on the airships.
Sometimes I think like getting in a hot balloon would be fun for a hot balloon ride, but then you hear all of these stories of people getting on a balloon and getting lost, never to be seen again. Which makes you think, don't those things have GPS or something?
How often does that happen? I've never heard of a case like that.
Dude, growing up, there were so many stories of people just getting lost in hot air balloons, like millionaires getting lost, children, a child climbing into someone's hot air balloon, and his parents' hot air balloon.
Is this a Turkish phenomenon? Because I don't think I've ever heard of this in my life.
You think we've invented hot air balloons? Please.
But no, I'm saying the phenomenon of spreading around the story of don't get in the hot air balloon, Kaya, you'll fly away forever.
Sounds like